Some time ago, we talked about some of the video game inspired tattoos that we would like to get if only the needles weren't so jabby and the machine didn't make that sound. And it turned out that the subject was one that you lot really wanted to talk about too. That video has since become one of our most popular, with dozens upon dozens of you sharing badass ink that you've already had done, or your own ideas for game-inspired tats. This time around, each member of Outside Xtra and Outside Xbox has picked out their favourite ideas from all your suggestions, and are here to present them to you now. Here then are our favourite video game tattoo concepts, as inspired by you.
So last time we did this, I talked about getting a Zelda tattoo, but the other thing that I had in mind was trying to get something from Life is Strange, because it's a series that I really love, has a lot of emotional impact. I think those are things that are good to consider when you're thinking about getting a video game tattoo. But the only thing that I could think of to get for Life is Strange was something that Jane actually mentioned in that last video, which was the thing from Life is Strange that says like this decision or this action will have consequences. And like Jane said, you don't want to be reminded of consequences every time you look at a tattoo. That would be a relentless way to live. So I'd kind of parked that until I saw this comment from commenter Ellie. The spiral that shows up in the corner of your screen when you rewind in Life is Strange, which is a really nice idea. It's an incredibly simple shape. It's just like a little spiral. It's got a little dot in it. It looks like a very simple treasure map that involves like doing circles around a desert island until you get to where all the gold is buried. It also looks a little bit like the Dreamcast logo or the swirl that you get on the front of a Poliwhirl in Pokemon. So there's some things that it could be confused for, but
if you put it on your belly.
Especially if I had it large on my belly, yeah, which is, let's face it, where I would get it done. But I do think that that is a nice idea for a tattoo. What that stuff symbolizes in Life is Strange is kind of the opposite of the this action will have consequences thing. It's kind of the idea that your actions don't have permanence, because in the game that's when you rewind to like try and sort of make your decisions over and over again, which I think is just a little bit more of a relaxed way of thinking about life. Obviously you do only get one shot at decisions because we can't rewind time in real life, but I do think it's healthy to just try and have like a little bit more of a sort of circumspect attitude to like the big decisions that we take, and like, hey, like if you make a decision and it doesn't go very well and things don't pan out how you wanted them to, then you know, you learn by doing, and next time you might make a different choice, you know, when presented with something similar. So I don't know, I feel like maybe it would be a nice little reminder that actually maybe, you know, actions do have consequences, but at the same time not necessarily to stress so much about it. Does that make any sense? Yeah.
Try again.
Try and try again. I should just get a tattoo that says that, really. In terms of where I'd have it, I don't know, it might be quite a cool one to have like on the back of a hand. Whenever Max rewinds time in Life is Strange, she does this like slightly melodramatic like thing, so you could be there, like you're sort of thinking about. But then I don't know, maybe like, might be a nice one for kind of maybe like the sort of top of the shoulder or something like that. But yeah, I like that design. That is the best Life is Strange tattoo idea that I've seen, and it was a Life is Strange tat that I was in the market for specifically. So thank you, commenter Ellie, for that excellent suggestion.
Well, last time we were here, I remember talking about a video game tattoo that I wanted to get, more than one in fact, and that is why I am covered with tattoos. You can't see any of them. Don't look into it, but everywhere that's not covered in clothes is covered in tattoos. Sweet ink from my personal tattooist.
That bit of your forehead that's covered by hair, that's all tattooed under there.
That's why I have the swoopy fringe hair thing. Anyway, I have a little patch, one space left for a tattoo, and it's going to be one from Dragon Age, inspired by a bunch of really excellent suggestions in the comments of that last video. So here's one. Commenter Stephethian says, among many ideas, which were all great, Hawk family crest from Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition sigil from Dragon Age Inquisition. Now, I prefer Dragon Age Inquisition, so I'm going to err on the side of Dragon Age Inquisition. Also, the sigil for the Inquisition, which I know it's an Inquisition, and here in the real world that has negative connotations. In Dragon Age Inquisition, their sigil is a rad flaming sword with an eye on it, and
nice.
It is dope. And it works really well in like black and white because I quite like the idea of like monochrome tattoos rather than anything like super colourful, because then how would I match my everyday clothing to it? These are the things that you must consider when it's not really. It's not, you can tell I'm not thoroughly experienced with selecting tattoos. But the Inquisition sigil is really stylish. I don't think it looks too much like any sort of sinister Illuminati type group in the real world, so hopefully you'll avoid any negative connotations there, fingers crossed. The Hawk family crest, on the other hand, from Dragon Age 2 does look very cool. It's a kind of double hawk, geometric, abstracted design of two birds of prey, I assume hawks, kind of at each other. It's symmetrical, it looks good, but that kind of, I want to say like pseudo-Celtic in design, a little bit kind of runic looking. It's not exactly my style. I prefer the wiggliness of the Dragon Age Inquisition sigil, and also I prefer Dragon Age Inquisition. So, Stephethian, I'm going to say yes to the Inquisition sigil. I mean, not for you, you don't have to get it. You don't have to get it. Don't take that as a, don't take that as an instruction. But for me personally, I think that might look quite cool and be a salute to a game that has a huge amount of really cool imagery in it, actually. It got me thinking about the games we love and how rich they are with images that we want to take and put on ourselves, like Dragon Age Inquisition, which, for instance, has these character cards that are like styled after tarot cards. So as you select the characters for your party, each one has this beautiful tarot card, and as certain events happen and those characters change, their tarot cards change in kind of style and subject. You could have that in a sort of card shape and put it on your back, and then maybe add more in a sort of fan of tarot cards as you get more ambitious. So there's another option for you, Stephethian, but that's a big one. So maybe think seriously before committing to that one.
So Luke and Ellen asked me to look through the comments of the last video to see if any of the suggested tattoos seemed like something that I'd like to get. Had a read through. To be honest, a bit disappointed in most of you. Terrible. Terrible ideas, most of these tattoos. But, well, no, I'm getting round to the ones I liked. So there's a comment from a commenter, Remember Navarro, who likes a series that I also like. I'm a big fan of the Fallout series. They've got a list of the tattoos that they might get from the Fallout games, so I'm going to go through these. I mean, most of them are still bad, but... Okay, so a list of what I would get. 1, the Brotherhood of Steel logo, Western Brotherhood. I would probably caution against getting a tattoo of any faction from the Fallout series because they're all sort of bad in some way. That's kind of the point. Like, you have to make difficult decisions between the factions. I don't think there's any faction that's purely morally good. Maybe the Railroad from Fallout 4, but still, I don't know, a lot of people don't like the Railroad. Not the Brotherhood of Steel though, because they're like techno-fascists. I'd say like quasi-religious military orders, probably steer clear of them at the best of times. But then when they're going around talking about the purity of the human race and killing intelligent ghouls and stuff, I'd maybe not get that tattooed on your body.
Super mutants. Having those aberrations of nature close enough to smell is making me sick to my stomach.
The Enclave. Again, into the genocide of all non-pure humans. Maybe don't. Yeah, maybe don't get that. Kaiser's Legion literally crucify people. And also insist on pronouncing it Kaiser.
I want you to teach everyone you meet the lesson that Caesar's Legion taught here.
It's to show that they've lost touch with history.
It's
so
to
they
show
see it and they read it as they see it, rather than how it's supposed to be.
To show that they're idiots, is what it is.
But they do have cool helmets.
Yeah, don't get that tattoo. So if I had to choose, I would say maybe the NCR logo, because the NCR, they're a bit corrupt. They're doing, they're doing the best job that they can out there in the new California Republic. And most importantly, their logo is a two-headed bear, which is cool.
You got business here?
You could either have the flag, the California Republic flag, but with the two-headed bear, or you could just have the two-headed bear. If people see that, they're like, ah, cool two-headed bear. Or they'll be like, ah, sick, NCR for life.
Am I misremembering?
Yeah.
Or are the NCR like a bunch of jumped up park rangers?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, but they're trying to keep the peace and restore order in the area.
Stop Yogi Bear stealing their sandwiches?
No, the Yogi Bear needs more sandwiches. He's got 2 heads now. So he needs double the amount of sandwiches. You're going to deny Yogi his sandwiches? Everyone is into some sort of genocide. Whereas the NCR, at least, are like, let's just try and keep the peace. Let's just try and get along. And sure, we're corrupt, but, got to wet our beaks. Anyway, I'm just saying, if you're going to get any of the faction logos tattooed on you, probably go for the NCR, not any of the genocide or crucifixion ones. So that's my advice.
I'm a big Disney fan, and one game series that for some reason I didn't pick up years ago, but now I'm slightly obsessed with since we made the last video, is Kingdom Hearts, which, if you don't know it, is a lovely crossover between all things Disney and all things Square Enix and Final Fantasy-ish, and it's such a wonderful, weird mishmash of stuff. It's made a mark on the games industry, and it's in the hearts, the Kingdom Hearts of many of you lot. And in fact, there were so many suggestions for Kingdom Hearts tattoos, because there's a lot of amazing iconography within the game, and it's all about like friendship and fighting for each other and saving the world. It's really nice. So I just picked out a few. 3, don't worry, I'm not gonna go mad here. First off is Yuki Place, who said the nobody symbol from Kingdom Hearts 2. For those of you that don't know, right, there's this whole thing where if you separate a person from their heart, it takes their heart and then also creates a nobody. There's some of them in Organization 13, and it's a very long story, which I won't go into, but there's like this amazing heart thing with like a thing on the end.
It looks like a throwing star with a butt.
It's an upside down heart, Andy. The nobodies don't have hearts, and it's just like, huh?
But they do have butts.
They do have butts. Well, if that one isn't good enough for you, Andy, there's another suggestion here. Luna Lovegood. Oh my goodness, I can't believe Luna Lovegood watches our videos. What about a Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts? I bet that would look cool. I think it would look cool. The cool thing about the Keyblade as well is like you've got the amazing classic design, which has like the crown in the key shape. But in each world that you visit, you kind of unlock new keys. So you can pick the Keyblade that best, reflects you. So you can get the cool one that you get in Agrabah, or you can get like the cool Pride Rock one, or the Hercules one if you really like the big Greek, like the big metal one. It's amazing. So you've got that flexibility though, as well as you can choose the Keyblade that you want. But also, there's so many different organizations and different types of character that you meet that there's different symbols for. But one of them is suggested by Courtney Downey, who says, my video game tattoo is incredibly simple. It's the heartless symbol from Kingdom Hearts. Got it as my first tattoo, and it's my permanent reminder that no matter how deep into darkness I get, like the heartless, I should always keep searching for the light. And I just like that because it's, it's lovely. And the heartless symbol is like, it's like the heart with a thing on it, and then it's got like thorns.
It's got a buttish bottom.
It's their hearts, Andy. Ignore Andy. He doesn't get it, Kingdom Hearts fans. But yeah, there's a lot of amazing iconography in the game. The symbols are very simple. They're very neat. They would look really nicely, have a little heartless symbol. Like some people were saying that they had some like over their chest, over their heart, which I thought was really nice. You can usually get a heart, but Kingdom Hearts, if you're a big fan, bit different, having a twist on it. Although nothing against a good, proper heart tattoo with like the cool banners across and stuff like that. But Kingdom Hearts, it's great.
Hello, it's me again. I have another one because I can't make up my mind, which is exactly why I should not be allowed to get tattoos. So I really liked this comment. It's from Florian Rickard. They say, I'd have a hard time deciding on a video game themed tattoo. Same, Florian. Same. As I'm more of an indie game player, maybe the save point from Undertale with the line, you are filled with determination. So Undertale is another game that is full of like really cool visual stuff. It's got that brilliant pixelated look. All the characters in it are really, really iconic and probably beloved to anyone who's played through the game. I can imagine maybe getting like a little Sans the Skeleton skull, maybe incorporated into like a pirate flag or something like that. There's a lot you could do, but the save point is a nice idea. As you can see on screen now, the save point, the way it looks, it's like a little yellow sort of wriggly star. Obviously you couldn't make the tattoo wriggle. So it's kind of a wonky little geometric shape. There's a chance that if you've got it tattooed, it might just look a little bit like you've got the world's worst geometric star tattoo or something, and the tattoo was just like, I don't know. But what I am interested in is that idea of the text that you get when you hit the save point. So in Undertale, whenever you save your game, you get this weird little bit of flavor text that says about how you're filled with determination. You're filled with determination because you see some cheese, there's some cheese near the save point, and you think of how one day a mouse else might get that cheese even though it's glued to the table. So they're always a little bit weird and a little bit oblique. But at the same time, they are supposed to give you like a little bit of oomph to go forward. And without getting too much into spoiler territory, the more you play through Undertale, it turns out that determination isn't just a nice word in the Undertale universe. It actually has some sort of meaning in terms of what makes a human soul distinct from a monster soul, and the idea of perseverance and something uniquely human, the stick-to-itiveness, if that's a word. Yeah, Ellen says, yeah, Dictionary Corner over here says affirmative, yeah. Yeah, of the human soul and the spirit of endeavor, so I kind of like that. I kind of like the filled with determination thing. I think you would have to get it in the sort of retro-y, like Casio calculator font that Undertale is all written in. And possibly like it might be nice to frame it inside like a rectangle, the way that the text boxes are in Undertale. I think that might be nice. The thing is with this though, is that I've only just finished playing Undertale quite recently, so at the minute I'm like filled with Undertale, like love and fandom and stuff. But I don't know. If I got that tattoo, I don't know, like maybe 10 years down the line, am I gonna be like, what was that weird game? There was a skeleton in it? And I'll be trying to persuade people that this was like, oh no, it definitely had something to say about the human soul and kindness and the nature of morality. And I do seem to remember that it was mostly about a skeleton. There was a nice fish woman and you sort of set her up with a lizard and they went on a date and it was, Undertale is quite weird.
So I've got another tattoo suggestion here, which I like, which is from Gideon R. And this isn't actually a game that I considered when I was thinking about things to have tattooed on me when we did the first video. But when I read this, I was like, oh yeah, that is actually a really good game for that kind of stuff. And the game in question is Brutal Legend, the RTS game from Double Fine, starring Jack Black, about metal music. The Double Fine weirdly claimed wasn't an RTS game. It is. It's definitely an RTS game. If I just read the comment out, it's from Gideon R. I have the Drowning Doom logo from Brutal Legend on my left forearm, as that game got me into metal music. So I love Drowning Doom. They are the faction that I wish I could have joined in Brutal Legend, and the one that I play as in multiplayer. They're like the goth faction, the super goth faction, and all of their abilities are based around just depressing everyone. So they're like really heavily based on like debuffs. There's like a pipe organ car where the guy's playing all these like depressing dirges and it like really debuffs the opposition team. There's a spectral bride with like an umbrella and it's just always raining on her. There are these sort of like sexy Pugsley Adams guys wearing like this sort of black and white stripy t-shirt with a big emo fringe. Yeah, I know, they're good. There's also a like a prisoner in an electric chair who is being like electrocuted and he like does chain lightning off. It's like a Charles Adams or a Edward Gorey illustration come to life is their entire MO, and they've got a bunch of specific guitar solos just for the Drowning Doom, and they're all based around like dark gloom metal, like goth metal and death metal. Yeah, they are like fully my aesthetic. You can't tell from the bright, colourful way that I dress, but I am actually quite a goth secretly in my real life. Yeah, Drowning Doom are great. And the actual logo of the faction, the Drowning Doom, it's like a crow with an upside down ankh in it. Probably actually, if I'd got a tattoo when I was about 16, it's probably what I would have got done. So yeah, I think that's a good choice for a tattoo. Drowning Doom for life. Drownedophilia is my leader, who I've sworn fealty to forever. So there's that. Yeah.
I think if you're going to have something tattooed onto your body, you need to be a pretty big fan of that game that it comes from. And I don't know if I've mentioned in more than, I'd say 30 to 40 of our videos, that I'm a big fan of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
What?
So, yeah, I know.
Never. You should have said something.
Well, you know, I'm a pretty subtle guy, you know, I don't like to just, you know, go on about things. But yeah, there's this little game called Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. It's an amazing, super ambitious, open world vampire RPG. You get to be these cool vampire clans, all of which have excellent logos in and of themselves. So
Vampire clowns.
Clans, Andy. The Toreadors, they have like a sort of rose because they're the romantic, sort of sexy Anne Rice vampires, and the Malkavians, the ones who are kind of like twisted and strange, and their sigil is like a smashed mirror, which is quite cool.
So angsty.
Yeah, I know, right? So those are all quite cool, but the one that was suggested by a commenter called Purple Girl, and what she suggested was, I'd love to get the Ankh from Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, one of my favourite games ever. Plus I love all things ancient Egypt related. So yeah, this is really cool. So the sort of main logo, I guess, or the main sort of icon of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines is this sort of, it's like a goth ankh. Andy would love it.
I'm already getting a goth ankh.
Yeah.
The raven.
Yeah, all right, you don't get the raven in this one, but you could imagine the raven, and this one's probably more gothy, based on the actual Vampire the Masquerade logo from the tabletop game. What I quite like about it is, as Purple Girl mentioned, the kind of ancient Egyptian connection. So it's the ancient Egyptian symbol of life, which is kind of interesting and slightly ironic because the vampires, you know, layers of meaning and stuff like that. And the Egyptian theme is part of the game as well, because one of the main things in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines that you're trying to discover is the origins of this Ankaran sarcophagus, which contains like an antediluvian vampire who is like one of the original progenitors of the entire vampire race and all the clans, not clowns. And so yeah, it's got like a kind of nice connection to the actual narrative of the game as well. So yeah, you should totally play the game as well. I mean, it's really very, very good. Purple Girl's not kidding. Don't take my word for it. Take Purple Girl's word for it. Well, you should get it, probably on Steam, where it is available for around $20, I believe. I'm not getting commission, I just love it.
So those were just some of your suggestions for video game related tattoos that we picked out and thought, they're quite cool, and thought we'd share with everyone else. Are there any others that you can think of? Are there any others that you already have? Let us know in the comments down below. And don't forget, we're on Twitter and things. Send us pictures. Lots of people sent us pictures on Twitter of their cool tats, and this is like nice, very cool. So do let us know. And also, if you want to watch some more videos, if you missed the last video, it's right here on Outside Extra. But if you want to see some tattooing going slightly wrong, thanks to Agent 47, then you should check out Outside Xbox Hitman killing someone with a tattoo thing. Don't ask. But if you want to see some more stuff from us, don't forget to subscribe, and we shall see you later. Bye.